Welcome. This is Stephen, and this is just a quick overview of the English 2021-22 Ashes squad, since it's just been announced, and view my views on it. All right. So first we've got Joe Root as the captain, as expected. James Anderson, as expected. Johnny Bairstow, Don Bless. Don Bless is an interesting choice, but with Don Bless and Jake Leach being the two spinners, you were either going to go for someone that hasn't been able to keep a spot in recent time, i.e. Don Bless or Jake Leach, or go for a completely new spinner. I'm not really sure of their spinning prospect at county level. I mean, Rashid would have been probably a good choice, but he generally only focuses on the sort of formats, so that's probably why he's not selected. Stuart Broad, definitely needed. Rory Burns, Josh Butler, Jack Crawley, Hasib Hamid. Good prospect. Dan Lawrence, decent middle order. Darwin Milan. I mean, he ranks number 1 in T20, but that is a test match in Australia, so a maybe for him. Craig Overton, Ollie Pope, Ollie Robertson, Chris Woakes, and the only one with real pace. I mean, Woakes got a bit of pace, but mainly Mark Wood will be there for the pace. It's the bowling lineup is pretty stock standard for England these days. Right arm mediums, generally. Right arm fast medium. Alright, so let's just look at how their recent form generally has been. First off, we've got Captain Joe Root, who, as always, he's in a really good golden patch. Just look at his current innings. Quite a while since he scored lowly. I mean, 21 and it's still low, but it's a start at least. Very few single figures in the since January 2020, and no ducks, which is impressive. A good average of 58, but that's pretty much the highlight of England's batting lineup these days. Joe Root holding down the fort, and he does a bloody good job at it. For England's sake, I hope he continues his purple patch. Next we have Anderson, Jimmy, who's just been around for forever and a day at the moment. We don't really care about his batting. He's not there for his batting. He's there for his bowling, which over the last year and a half has actually been really good. It's better than his career average. A 22 is a really good average. I mean, a lot of, and not all of his games have been in England. Most of them, but still, a few outside. I think he'll do. I think he'll. I don't think he'll take too many wickets, but he'll be able to keep the runs down. I reckon. Just he's just a consistent bowler, even though he's 39. Next we have Bairstow, who's will probably keep. Him and Pope will probably switch up to keeping, depending on abilities at the time. Can't really say too much about his batting. It's average at the moment, but generally gutsy is how people would generally describe him. So we'll see what his role will be in Australia. Next we have Bess. Not horrible average as a spinner, but not great either. But he's still pretty new to the whole cricket at test level, with 12 of his 14 matches being played in the last year and a half. And yeah, struggled against India and Sri Lanka, but that's kind of, he taken a couple decent forfeits, but yeah, kind of been a struggle. Next we have Broad. Broad's Broad. Actually not a horrible batting average, but I reckon that will dip quite a bit lower when he faces Australia. He seems to struggle against pace, unless he goes for the swing, but his bowling average is just phenomenal at the moment. And been bowling against decent teams in the last year and a half. And yeah, just consistent. 48 wickets in 14 matches. Yeah, maybe not as many fifers that he would have liked, but can't always get the fifers. If you're consistently taking a couple wickets, that does the job. Next, we have Rory Burns. Meant to probably open. Yeah, he opens, but, well, let's see. Strike rate 40, but average is 30, so he generally stays around. But run-wise, not horrid. Got a few 50s, but struggled to convert to hundreds. But yeah, most of his games have been at in England, where the ball does move a bit more. If he can weather the pace of Australia, he should be alright. Should be able to survive for a bit. But again, we will see. Butler, another keeper. Uh, he averages what? 34? Which is not bad. He's been in decent form. And yeah, not really converting to. Doesn't have too many 50s or 100s, but considering he averages 34, batting at predominantly 7, isn't bad. Because he's generally batting with the tails. So, yeah, I reckon. And not that many not out, so he's generally getting starts. That's the one thing I'll take away from that. He's generally getting starts. Here we've got Crawley, still very new to Test cricket. Yeah, his average is probably a bit low for a top order batsman, but again, he's still new. Give him a bit longer to find his feet. Because let's see, a lot of his games have actually been away from England. So, and I think the Australian tracks again generally shoot. If you can survive the pace of the Australian bowlers, which isn't always easy, I know that. The pitches generally don't have too much in them, and using a kookaburra, if you see off the first 20 overs, it generally loses its swing. Here we've got Hamid, who, despite being around for a while, has only played 6 matches in total, and 3 in the since 2000. Uh, 2 big scores and 3 nothings. So can't really make too much about it. We will see how he goes. That's all I can say. Can't really say too much about him. His career is a bit short, and his first class average pretty much reflects his batting average in tests. So yeah, he should do all right. Next we've got Lawrence. Decent middle order. I mean, most of these guys average a little bit less than the Australians, but a lot of that I feel like can be put down to be generally having to face the Duke ball a lot more. But yeah, bit of a bad patch there. But overall, not too bad. Alright, we'll quickly get through these, because no one wants to hear me ramble for 20 plus minutes. Here we've got Leach. Decent spinner. Lefty. Wears glasses. As long as he can put them in the right spot, he shouldn't be. I don't think he'll take too many wickets in Australia, but as long as he puts it in the right spot, he shouldn't be fully taken apart. That's all I can really say about Leach. Australia's a death trap for overseas spinners. Very few succeed here. Here we have Milan, who hasn't played much Test cricket recently, I should say. But yeah, made a few scores. Decent average recently. We'll see if he can convert his T20 format into Test. Craig Overton, still new to Test. That's all I can really say. New, hasn't really been proven, but hasn't really been disproven either. Continuous in the wicket column, that's always a plus though. Ollie Pope, another keeper. England likes to play multiple keepers, it seems. Ollie Pope, I think, will probably be the keeper of choice initially, just because of his average. But yeah, we'll see. I think he'll be the choice of the keepers initially, but England has been known to play multiple keepers at the same time. Scores are decent in the recent times. Average 33, so seems to be stock standard for England. Ollie Robertson, kind of someone I'm actually looking forward to watching. 28 wickets in 5 matches, it isn't bad. Good average. But yes, again, all of them have been in England, so it will be interesting to see how he goes overseas. But like a lot of English bowlers, they are right arm, medium fast, fast medium. They don't have too many of the sheer pace. Wokes can bowl quite quickly at times. He's probably the quicker of the standard bowlers that have quite a few matches behind him. Again, most of his matches in the recent past have been in England, but I think Wokes might be one of the few to have actually played in Australia. I can't remember. Decent batting average, good bowling average, good all-rounder. You always want to see an all-rounder with a higher batting average than bowling average. And last we've got Mark Wood. Probably England's quickest bowler that they have selected. And hope that can be and for England's sake, hopefully he's an X factor for them. Decent average. But yeah, out of players that I think that are unlucky, unfortunately they're unavailable to be selected. I really want to see Archer. Archer would have been a good X factor in Australia, unfortunately, and Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes needs to get to Australia. Hopefully he can come to the next tour because he missed the last one. And Ben Stokes is probably one of the best all-rounders currently, in my opinion. Alright, enough rambling. Thanks for listening to my opinions. They are my opinions. You will have your own opinions. So please don't abuse me about them.